it's exactly the same. That's what I do with Invisalign, too. And you think of the treatment plan more like if you were one of those that's doing a big VTO, that did really crazy intense treatment plan of braces, and you realize you still have to modify as you go along. Because even though you have your treatment plan of braces, don't you still sit down every appointment and think about what you're going to do? But it's like second nature, right? Like you don't really have to think. It's like riding a bicycle. You say, oh, put some class 2 elastics on, and you walk off, your assistant does it. Or you say, oh yeah, let me make a little bend. See that one tooth, there's one's a little higher, one's a little lower, right? And it's like second nature. You don't even think about it. When you do enough Invisaligns, like hundreds of cases, you will get that way with Invisalign. Where you will get so comfortable, you'll say, oh wait, I need to put a dimple over there. And so it's just like braces. You have a plan, but you're still re-diagnosing or checking the case each time. Because I don't know about you, but in my brace case, it's not like I don't change my plan as I go. Not drastically, I don't go back and say, oh wait, now let's pull teeth. Oh wait, now let's do a face mask I never thought about at the beginning. Now that you change that way, but you do things, right? You rebond some teeth. Maybe you make some bends in the wire. Maybe you change the elastic sequence. I mean, the elastic sequences, I never have those totally planned out at the beginning with braces. I know, I'm going to need some class 2 elastics. But, then I might need a 3-3-4 elastic to sock things in or whatever. And so what you need to do is think about it just like braces of saying, okay, I need to evaluate where I'm at and how do I need to get to where I'm going. And like maybe, oh yeah, this wire didn't work all the way, so now I'm going to have to switch to this wire that maybe, you got your general wire sequence right, and every once in a while you do something else a little different. So it's the same type thing with Invisalign. That you want to look, and you will get to a point, it's really hard. That's the problem. That's why a lot of guys aren't doing it. Because they aren't real comfortable. Braces, you don't even think of it. It's like riding a bicycle for you. Right? You can just look at a case in 30 seconds and be like, oh yeah, let me make a little bend here. Oh yeah, put them on class 2 elastics. Oh, why don't we take a Panorex, maybe rebond a couple teeth next time. Okay. Boom. You get up and your system does all that, right? So you will get to that point with Invisalign. But the key is you're still doing things with Invisalign too. Now, you still have, fortunately, you got 70-80% of really easy appointments. Say, oh, give them 5 more liners. Just like you come and say, oh yeah, put in a 1622 neocelluloid wire. Boom. Okay, so you have a lot of easy appointments, but you still have appointments that you're doing stuff. So that's the trick, and that's the learning curve, and that's why you have to go to tons and tons of classes to get this down. Because Invisalign will look at the same thing. Are we getting open by, closed by? How's the cooperation? Some things are a little different. You want to floss to check the contacts. That's one of the things that would be different. And you have your assistant do that, okay? Because if you're trying to align a couple teeth and the contact's tight, it's not going to happen. You need to place any dimples. We're going to talk about that a little more. You need elastics. Buttons to rotate teeth or to close space. Do you want to get indication refinement? You use some IPR, some TADs. So it's the same type of thing. You make a plan, but then you got to be flexible, right? Just like with braces. Okay. So here's my chart. You mentioned that. And so, unfortunately, my headings didn't show up here. But this is like an auxiliary call like you would have. This says case refinement start right there. I don't know why it says it twice. But it's PVS impressions. Just like, you gave a retainer here. You put braces on this day. This would be the upper liner, lower liner. So this is what they're, and the staff is supposed to have this done before I walk over. So say it's February 7th. I walk over. I look at me up there. Say, okay, there she's wearing number 10 on the upper, number 10 on the lower. And I look up here, and now this was the original liners. This is case refinement, CR's case refinement. And I say, okay, this is her last one, except then we have some overcorrection, 11 to 14, moving upper threes distal out, kind of like I showed you, that extra movement. And then there's some closing spaces or virtual C chain, 15 to 17. Lower, there's 12 regular aligners, and then we have some extra movement, 13 to 16. So I look at, okay, I know I need 2 more. The green here, it's all blank. It's IPR column. Okay, this is ortho 2, by the way. So I have 2 charts in my practice. I have my Invisalign chart, and I have my braces chart. So, and what do you have in braces over here? Wire sizes, right? Everybody still do that? Right? You got your wire sizes, and then you don't have as many spaces here. What this is what we gave them, because that's again that cooperation thing. Now you got to learn to write cooperation, which a lot of us were trying to get away from in braces. So I can look at this and say, okay, last time we gave her 6 through 10. Okay, so because sometimes they come into they're wearing number 8, and you're like, well, and they say this is my last one. You're like going, wait, pretty sure we gave you through number 10. What do you think is going, oh, yeah, let me look around home. I don't know. I have a big bag of aligners. So anyway, that's that call, and this is what you would do next visit. Okay. This is only the overcorrection are left in the Roseville basket. This is the type of appointment, how many weeks out, so we go 4 weeks. So you see a lot of times I was going 10 weeks here, and at the beginning of the I was going 12 weeks, but now we're kind of fine-tuning, and I'm going to be seeing her every 3-4 weeks here. Okay? So that's kind of part of the equation. You probably need a different chart, a different way to think of it, and a lot of it's staff training. We're going to talk about that. That's part of the problem, too, why a lot of guys aren't comfortable doing Invisalign, because what happens with braces now? The patient comes in, your assistant checks the hygiene, gets the wire out, looks, oh yeah, we need a progress Panorex. They get out the new wire. Oh yeah, we know your wire sequence. You go into this. You need to get that same way with Invisalign with your staff. See, otherwise, it's not efficient. Okay. And so the other thing, the staff should have up chair side. You can see we're minimized that. So here's Ortho 2, and here's the patient file page for you to this page, and here's her ClinCheck. So every time, it's really hard to do Invisalign if you don't have a computer in every chair. Okay? So every time the ClinCheck is up, show the patient. That's one way to get the cooperation going. Show them what you're working on. Show them what's going on. And then you have to look at it, Jeff, just like you were saying. It is hard because initially it takes you a lot more time, I'll be honest with you. Until you get, just like, how long it takes one of these guys, as smart and wonderful as they are, and I know these residents are way smarter than like when I went to school. But still, for them to sit down and see a patient isn't like what one of you guys can sit down and boom, oh yeah, we know what we're doing here. Let the assistant tie the wire in. Okay? And so it's going to be the same with Invisalign. Initially, it might take more time, but in the end, you're just going right through them. Okay, so let's talk about staff for a minute. Again, it's just like with braces. Staff is the whole key. Because if you're doing it all, it is going to be inefficient. Yeah, then you're going to need to charge $7,000 because you're sitting there holding their hands and hanging out with every patient for 45 minutes or something. So you want to go over patient compliance, Chewies. Everybody know Chewies? I think I have a picture later. Just in case. Everybody know what Chewies are? Okay, Chewies are huge. I used to tell people, wear these, first couple of days just to get them going, make sure they're on. Now I tell the patient, I want you using that Chewy 4 or 5 times a day, every day. Because and I'll show them. So look, if the plastic's not seated all the way, and we're rotating that tooth, then it's not going to quite rotate all the way. And that's the other reason I like the lingual attachments behind the upper ones. So because the back teeth tend to get seated good anyway, especially if they clench, right? But those lingual attachments behind the upper incisors help seat, and those especially help if you have rotated upper centrals or laterals. Still want to go over there over hygiene. Check and floss interproximal contacts. See, do we need some IPR here? And when I say IPR, there's 2 types of IPR, right? There's the planned IPR that you put in the plan, like we talked about, right? But then there's also, if I got a tight contact and this tooth still needs to line up, then I'm going to go, and that's where we talk about a little blue, red, yellow, or maybe it's just red, yellow, just to kind of lighten it up. Okay? So you've got to have, so the contacts will move. The fit, and the assistants get where they can do that. And if it doesn't fit, should we go back in a liner? Should we dimple? Should we go to case refinement? We'll review the ClinCheck plan. And that's one thing, if I go back to my chart here, here's a mistake I found my staff making. On an Ortho 2, those who use that, you get the new treatment plan box up here, right? And usually I keep my treatment plans really short so I can see the whole thing right here, my braces cases. What happens here, though, so here's the plan I wrote up at the beginning. And then when the aligners come in, then the staff does this. Boxes come in, she writes down, we got 14 upper, lower 20, and then we have overcorrection or virtual C-chain. That's all it would be. It's virtual C-chain the first time. No IPR, case refinement expires this date. Amber black. So Amber wrote that all in there. Okay, I never see it. She calls the patient, says, hey, your aligners are here. You can come in and get your aligners. Then with case refinement, she did the same thing. But what can happen is you end up not reading up here your plan. And so I found I was making that mistake sometimes. I was kind of stumbling along. It's like you talk about kind of like lost. I said, okay, wait, what was our original plan? And that's where sometimes I missed it. Hey, we were going to wear Class 2 elastics for a whole year because I know now that if we're going to do Class 2 correction, they need to wear a lot of rubber bands, okay? Unless we do a lot of IPR. Talk about that later. But anyway, so that's one thing. So now I'm getting on my steps saying, hey, did you read the top part of the chart, the first entry? Because sometimes we're going along, we've given them 6 aligners, and we give them another 6 or 12 aligners in, They go, oh, wait, up top here it said we're going to do some class 3 elastics. And I go, oh man, it would have been nice to start that earlier. But we're learning, getting that all together there. Okay, so they're going to read the whole plan, elastics, things, trying the next aligner. Okay, so assuming the one they're wearing fits good, the staff will get them into the next line. This is all before I get there. Right? They don't schedule the next appointment until I get there, because I got to tell them how many weeks and how many aligners and when it is. So your staff does all this. That's a big issue. So they should come and say, hey, I don't think the upper right 3 is tracking. And there's a tight contact upper left 2, 3. Probably, okay? So they should tell you all this. But or hey, the new aligner fits great. Okay. So here's a tray setup. We've got our mirror, cotton pliers, a pencil to check. Now we run these through our sterilizer. Okay, we've tried different things. You can do this with, this is for, you take the pencil and you draw on the attachment, and then you seat the aligner and you can see if the attachment is in the bubble good. You can do it with also articulating paper. There's some other fancy, I just found the pencil's easiest. It's a no-brainer. It's really simple. So again, I want the staff to do that. And it's a battle at first. Just like you talk about to transition of it. It's taken me a year plus with staff. I just had another meeting last week. I kind of showed my presentation, which I had together for a while. I want to make sure you guys understand again that you're doing all this, right? Because they know to do it, but you know how it is with your staff. Sometimes just like with braces, they haven't really checked the hygiene or something.
See, I can't give up that control, really.
What's that?
I can't give that control up.
Well, I
have
still
to check the contacts myself. I have to check.
I end up doing it a lot.
They come in with the aligner. They end up with the last aligner, so I can see myself.
But part of that, are you do that with your braces?
Well, I don't see them before the wire. They're untied. But
okay.
I still.
Because some of it is, I bet you will get. Just like with braces, because there's those anal orthodontists that want to see it before they're even tied,
That's me.
And so I want to say, but mostly go ahead and untie them, and then they tell you, oh, by the way, one tooth wasn't tied in good, or something rotated a little bit, or something. Now, but let me tell you where I do agree with you. If they tell me something's not tracking well, sometimes even if they don't, I just think it's not, I still check it again myself. So it's not like I never grab the pencil myself or never grab the floss myself. Like I do a lot. In fact, almost always, if they tell me it's tight, I want to see how tight. I want to see for myself. But I like it if they tell me there's no tight contacts, attachments, and I can usually see that with the next one. I can see now. There's sometimes, especially with some of those new attachments, because they got all those funky shapes. Sometimes they're harder to tell now, right? And so that's when then you might have to use the pencil more. So if in doubt, I still do that too. But I would like them to do it and give me a heads up to try to save us time. Here's the dimple. I do tons of dimples. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I love attachments. I love dimples. And here's our blue, red, yellow strips. Now these we don't use every time, and that's why we keep them in the sterilized package. Okay, there's the staff. We have a sports theme.